So just before I get into our game yesterday, I did really just want to quickly look at the protests at Manchester United. Of course, their game ended up getting postponed due to fans on the pitch causing damage to the stadium and causing some trouble with the police. Now, I'm all in favour of protests to get the owners out of clubs. You know, we're doing the same at Arsenal, trying to get rid of our owners, but there's ways to do it. There's no way that our fan base should be looking at that and thinking that's the way to take this forward. Why would people break into the stadium and cause damage to their own ground? Just seems absolutely crazy. And in the end, the game's got postponed. Now, if any Arsenal fans are thinking of doing this on Thursday night ahead of our game against Villarreal, the most important game of the season, I really urge you to think again. That this game is too important. We need no distractions to the players, no distractions to the preparations. Let the guys get on with the game, play the game, and we can protest afterwards. Maybe at the weekend game against West Bromwich Albion. Certainly don't be breaking into the stadium and causing damage. It's not going to make the point that we need. And all it's going to do is cause more problems for the club. So let's just think about it. Be sensible, protest properly, and don't go down that route that Man United did yesterday. So we return to winning ways with a good victory here in the North East at St James's Park yesterday in the Premier League. This is the Newcastle United versus Arsenal match review. Hello, I'm Richie. Welcome back to my channel over and over and over again. In this video, I'm going to look back on yesterday's 2-0 victory here at St James's Park in the Premier League. Ended a poor run of recent results. I'm going to look at the team lineup. I'm going to analyse the performance and I'm going to select a man of the match. Just before I get into all that, I'm trying to make sure that you are subscribing to my channel. If you enjoy what I do, please click on the subscribe button down in the corner there. It is completely free of charge. It does help the channel to reach a larger audience. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up as well. Give it a like, share the content around. And if you've got any comments at all to make about yesterday's performance or anything else to do with Arsenal, please drop me in the comments box below, as I do love to hear from you guys as well. So in terms of the team lineup then, there was 8 changes to the side that had lost at Villarreal on Thursday night in their Europa League. I was maybe expecting a few more, if I'm totally honest. I wouldn't have been surprised to have seen a completely different 11 take the field here at St James's Park. But in the end, I say it was 8 changes. 4 of those did come in the back 5. So it was Matt Ryan in goal again, following a couple of decent performances earlier in the season that he's produced. The back 4, Bellerin was back at right back. David Luiz was back from injury at centre back, and he was partnered by Gabriel. First time they've played together for quite a long time. Left back, it was Granit Xhaka again, the only one who stayed in the defence from the Villarreal game. In midfield, Dani Ceballos started again. Of course, he's suspended on Thursday anyway, and he was partnered by Mohamed El Neni. And then the front 4, again, there was 3 changes there to the front 4. Odegaard continued at the number 10 position. This time it was Willian on the right, Martinelli on the left, and it was good to see Aubameyang getting a start through the middle. His first start since the beginning of April, of course, following his bout of malaria. On the bench was a lot of the players who had started in Villarreal, such as Bukayo Saka, Callum Chambers, Emil Smith-Rowe, and of course Nicolas Pepe, of course, scored our away goal on Thursday. In terms of the Newcastle team then, there wasn't a lot of surprises there either. Steve Bruce made only 1 change to the side that had drawn at Liverpool last week. So they lined up, it was Dubravka in goal. They had a back 5 of Murphy, Clark, Dummett, Fernandez, and it was Matt Ritchie on the left. The 3 in midfield were Almiron, Shelvey and Sean Longstaff. And then up front, Callum Wilson was back. That was their only change. He was in for Joe Linton and he was partnered by the dangerous Alain Saint-Maximin. So they were your lineups for this game. Yes, I've got to be honest, it was a far more comfortable victory than I was anticipating. I just thought Newcastle's extra desire to get the points to virtually seal their safety would have given them the edge in this game, coming as it does between these 2 European semi-final legs. But as it turned out, it seemed as it was the Newcastle players that were actually on the beach in this game, feeling as though their job's already done. And it was almost played at a training game pace at times. Yes, we played well, helped by the early goal. Mohamed El Neni's first ever Premier League goal for us, a decent strike as well. Hector Bellerin got clear down the right-hand side. He had a good game actually. Pulled the ball back. Aubameyang mishit his shot, but it did fall to El Neni on the edge of the box. And his first time shot beat the goalkeeper, who could maybe have done better, Dubravka actually. Maybe could have got a stronger hand to it and pushed it around the post, but luckily he didn't, and it went into the corner net. I say El Neni's first ever Premier League goal for us, following some good strikes actually in Europe for the club over the last few years. That maybe settled us down, and we dominated the game really after that. Aubameyang looked sharp actually in that first half in particular. Martinelli down the left-hand side was having a good game as well. But we wasn't really faced with much opposition, if we're totally honest. Our away form's been great actually in recent weeks. We're now unbeaten in our last 5 away games in the Premier League, and 3 of those games have been won. But the opposition yesterday were not great, let's be honest. It wasn't a great performance from Newcastle. I was certainly expecting a lot more from them. They were in good form coming into the game, wasn't they? With just 1 defeat in 8 games and no defeats at home in their previous 5. But they were very disappointing, and we took advantage of that. We were playing really well in that first half. We could have had a couple more goals actually. I say Aubameyang's movement was good. We played some good passing movements as well, and we looked quite dangerous. The second half became a little bit more of a struggle. We didn't maybe get our rhythm going quite as much. Maybe a few legs were tired. Not some of these players haven't played much football, have they, lately? Of course, the bad news was the injury to David Luiz in the second half. It looked like his hamstring pulled when he went to play another long ball over the top. Real shame for him because he's just come back from a knee injury. And we were hoping to have his experience for the big Europa League game coming up this week, but unfortunately it looks like he's now going to be out maybe for the season, and maybe that might be his Arsenal career done. He hasn't actually been offered a new contract yet for next season, so we'll see. That could be the last time we'd have seen him in an Arsenal shirt, and for me, I'll be disappointed by that because I think he's been a good player for us. I think he's been our most consistent defender this season as well, and he's going to be a big miss on Thursday night, and then possibly for the final should we get there as well. But that was probably the only downside. Of course, in the end, we did get the second goal as well, and it was a really good move. We started through the middle of the pitch actually. Aubameyang looked like he was going to try and work a shot from the edge of the box. The ball fell to Odegaard. He played it out wide to the left to Martinelli. A lovely cross, first time, curled it round the defence. And Aubameyang's movement was good. He got in between the 2 central defenders. He had to stretch a little bit, made it look like a spectacular finish. But any connection on the ball was going to put it into the net. It was a good finish, a good goal, and that sealed the points. And it was good for Aubameyang to get on the score sheet as well. Of course, he's got a great record against Newcastle, hasn't he? He scored the winning goal here last season, of course, and this season as well. He had scored 3 goals previously in the 2 games that we'd played against Newcastle, and now he added another one. A good performance from him actually all round, and a decent goal. In the end, of course, Newcastle were reduced to 10 men when their sub Fabian Schär went through the back of Martinelli. Was it a red card? When you look at some of the red cards given this season, you'd probably say yes. But in the overall scheme of things, I don't think it really was. There's probably a yellow card, a little bit of a harsh red. It looked for a little bit as though Martinelli might have got a serious injury at first, actually. Maybe that influenced the referee's decision, but it looks like he's not too badly hurt, and hopefully he'll be fit for Thursday. So it was a decent run out for us, actually. Give us a little bit more confidence. Continued our decent away form, but let's not get carried away here. Newcastle were very, very poor. Very similar to our previous away game in the Premier League at Sheffield United. Again, we played well, but the opposition weren't great. And we've seen in the games in between that when we're playing better teams, we are struggling. So let's not read too much into it. It was a good victory. It was a decent enough performance, but we need to keep some perspective. Yeah, well, there were some good individual performances, wasn't there, yesterday? Pretty much solid from front to back, actually. Everybody played well, put in a good shift. I thought Matt Ryan in goal looks very assured, doesn't he? Very solid. Everything that comes into the box, he's there. His handling was really good. His distribution's good. He didn't have too many actual saves to make. He made one in the first half, didn't he, from St Maximum's mishit shot. He had to tip over the bar, but he didn't have a lot to do. But everything he did do, he did competently, and his first clean sheet as well. So a good performance from Matt Ryan. I'd be tempted to throw him in on Thursday, actually, but I'm not sure Mikel Arteta will do that. I thought defensively we looked good. We wasn't really put under a lot of pressure though, was we? Let's face it. So it was a fairly comfortable afternoon. I thought Hector Bellerin at right back actually played well, got forward well, helped create that first goal as well. I thought he had a decent game overall. David Luiz was looking good, wasn't he, until his injury. Some great passes out of the back that we've really missed. Set some counter-attacks in motion, some great switches from right to left. Really good performance from him, I thought, as well. Gabriel looked good as well, didn't he? Again, not really put under that much pressure. Easy game for the central defenders, but they both played well. And Granit Xhaka at left back was a bit worried, wasn't we, when he got that yellow card early on. if St Maximin had continued to run at him, you could have seen him maybe getting a red, but he did well after that. Actually, I thought positionally he was okay. He got forward quite a lot as well. In fact, he nearly scored in the first half, didn't he, with a good effort that was tipped over the bar. So a decent performance from Granit Xhaka, but again, he wasn't really stretched defensively, was he? So difficult to judge, but again, he played okay. The two in midfield, Ceballos did okay, didn't he? He's not going to play Thursday anyway, so we don't need to think too much about that. But Elneny had a decent game again. He's a solid squad player, isn't he? He'll come in and you know he'll do a job. He's not going to progress the club forward particularly. I was pleased for him to get his first Premier League goal, a decent strike as well from the edge of the box. But let's not get carried away and think he should be playing on Thursday. Clearly, he's not the answer to our issues in midfield, but he had a good enough game this time. The front four were okay again. There was some good movement going on. I thought Odegaard looked okay. Is he still 100% fit? I'm not quite sure. He doesn't look quite as effective as he did when he first broke into the side. And they say he's just recently come back from injury. He probably needed the minutes yesterday, actually. So hopefully that's done him some good. Thought the two wide players looked okay. William played quite well, didn't he? He put some good balls into the box. He looked lively. Played okay. Obviously, Aubameyang through the middle. He looked a little bit more motivated for this game, didn't he? His movement was good. He did get himself his goal as well. And I thought that looked a promising sign for me ahead of Thursday. We need a fire in Aubameyang, don't we? And he certainly looked on his way back to his best yesterday, which was great to see. But for me, the man of the match has to go to Gabriel Martinelli. A fantastic performance down the left-hand side. Always looked dangerous, always looked a threat. Put some great balls into the box as well. Could have scored a couple himself. And of course, he had that great assist for the second goal. So he's really played himself into contention for Thursday. Will Mikel Arteta go with him then? Not too sure. He hasn't favoured him in the big games, has he? But we'll see. He certainly hasn't done himself any harm, has he, with his performance? So for me, the man of the match yesterday has to go to Gabriel Martinelli. So yeah, overall a good performance, a good victory, comfortable victory. I say almost like a training session in a lot of ways, but at the end of the day, you can't complain when you come away from home and get a 2-0 victory and a clean sheet. It was good all round from Arsenal. Will it make a lot of difference to the game on Thursday night? I'm not sure. One or two players maybe have given Mikel Arteta a little bit of a headache in terms of team selection for him ahead of that game, but I think he's already got his team for Thursday in his mind. And maybe Martinelli's the only one who possibly has got a chance of breaking into that side. But I got a feeling he may well go with Smith Rowe. But we'll look ahead to that game a little bit later on in the week anyway. So yeah, I thought it was a decent enough performance, but let's not get too excited. You know, it wasn't great opposition, was it, for us? And Newcastle made it rather easy. We're certainly going to have a lot more of a sterner test, aren't we, on Thursday night? So that's my review of yesterday's victory here up at Newcastle. 2-0 victory it was. Decent performance overall. There's a lot coming up on the channel this week actually, so you really do want to be subscribing if you haven't done so already by clicking the button down in the corner there. Tonight it's the first of 3 special shows that I'm doing in connection with the Mr. Arsenal podcast and From Dial Square to Where, as we're looking back at the 50th anniversary of Arsenal's first double in 1971. Got some great guests on tonight. We're going to be looking at some memories from that season. That's going live at 7 o'clock tonight. You really don't want to miss that show. It's going to be fantastic, especially for those of you of a certain age who maybe like the history of Arsenal or enjoy looking back on the great times as well. So that's tonight at 7 o'clock. Then on Tuesday there's a show on the Mr. Arsenal podcast, and then on Wednesday we're doing a show on From Dial Square to Where as well. Some great guests and former players from that era coming on as well. So it's going to be good stuff. So make sure you tune in to all of these shows this week. And then of course we'll be building up on this channel to the Villarreal game on Thursday. I'll be doing a full preview of that game later in the week, and also as well be doing a live watch along on Thursday. It's going to be very exciting. It's going to be nervy and tense, but join me for that. I'll be going live about 7:45 on Thursday, but loads coming up in the meantime. I say, as we look back on the 50th anniversary of that first double, you definitely don't want to miss any of that. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like as well. Please subscribe to the channel, as I said. Thanks for your support. If you've got any comments at all to make about this particular performance yesterday, this game, or obviously looking ahead to Thursday, please drop them in the comments box below. It's good to hear your views as well. And stay tuned to the channel. I say lots of great stuff coming up. You don't want to miss this week. It's going to be great. So thanks for your support. Thanks for watching the video. And of course, in the meantime, as always, come on, you Gunners!